What Toronto has built in such a short amount of time feels almost unreal, like watching a franchise rediscover itself after years of wandering without a roadmap. This wasn't supposed to happen in a single offseason, not with so much roster turnover, not with a new identity being patched together on the fly. But the Raptors walked into October with something rare in the NBA: clarity. They knew what wasn't working, they knew what their limitations were, and for the first time in years, they built a team that directly addressed those weaknesses instead of trying to dance around them. And as the wins started stacking, as the chemistry began to click, people realized this was not a team surviving on adrenaline or luck. This was a team finally playing a brand of basketball that had been waiting to break through the surface for years. Every possession now feels intentional. Every rotation feels sharp. Every late-game moment carries a poise that was missing from so many past seasons when the Raptors would collapse under the weight of their own offensive shortcomings. Watching them now is like watching a door open that had been locked since the departure of Kawhi Leonard. Toronto had spent 4 long seasons banging on that door, hoping that hustle, transition pressure, and defensive chaos would be enough to carry them through the moments that demanded structure. But the truth was always clear: without a reliable half-court engine, a team can only go so far. And this year the Raptors finally found their engine. Ingram's presence is more than scoring. It's control. It's the ability to reshape a possession when everything breaks down. It's the calm in the storm, the player who doesn't need a screen, doesn't need a perfect angle, doesn't need anything except space and a defender brave enough to try and guard him one-on-one. He has become Toronto's solution to every late shot clock nightmare that once doomed them. And his arrival unlocked Scottie Barnes in a way no one predicted. Not even the fans who believed Barnes was destined for stardom from the moment he stepped onto the NBA court. It was never about competition between the two. It was about balance. About giving Barnes the freedom to stop forcing offense and start reading defenses. About letting him play in space instead of in crowds. About giving him a partner who commands attention so he could finally attack without 3 bodies collapsing on him. Barnes' leap is no accident. You can see it in his footwork, his confidence, his decision-making. You can feel it every time he steps into a three-pointer without hesitation, no longer worried about whether defenders will disrespect his shot. And you see it in the numbers, in the way he finishes through contact, in the fury he brings to the rim instead of settling for awkward floaters or mid-range bails. When a young player adds shooting, aggression, and polish all at once, you start to see the outlines of something special. Barnes isn't just putting up numbers, he's shaping games. He's bending defenses. He's becoming the kind of player teams must plan entire scouting reports around. And yet, this Raptors story isn't about one star or even two. It's about how perfectly the pieces fit around them. RJ Barrett brought exactly what the Raptors were missing: a downhill threat who doesn't need perfect spacing to do damage. His absence in recent games proved just how important he is to the core of this roster. When defenses sag off him or collapse onto Barnes and Ingram, he punishes them. When the offense stalls, he attacks the rim and forces defenders to react. He bridges the gap between the starters and the bench, becoming the connective tissue that keeps the Raptors from falling into the offensive droughts that haunted them last year. Immanuel Quickley has become the heartbeat of the guard rotation. His calm pacing, his poise, his ability to make reads at full speed, these are the qualities that elevate a team from good to stable. When Quickley finally rediscovered his rhythm, the Raptors' perimeter attack clicked into place. He brings control without sacrificing aggression, intelligence without losing creativity. His chemistry with Jakob Poeltl has revived the two-man game that had been missing from Toronto's offense for years. And Poeltl himself remains the unsung anchor who holds everything together. He isn't flashy, but his presence is unmistakable. He screens with purpose. He rotates with precision. He makes clutch defensive plays that rarely go viral but win games. His influence is subtle but essential, the kind of center every winning team needs. The Raptors' bench, once a glaring weakness, has transformed into a weapon. Jamal Shead runs the second unit like a veteran conductor. Mamu brings versatility and grit. Jacobs Walter plays with an energy that keeps opponents honest. Even Grady Dick has carved out a dependable role, providing spacing and steady defensive improvement. This level of depth didn't exist last season, and it allows Toronto to survive the stretches when their stars rest, something that once doomed them nightly. The new identity Toronto has adopted is what separates this season from all the others. For the first time in years, the Raptors don't rely on chaos. They rely on execution. They rely on spacing, rhythm, and decision-making. Their offense is organized and patient. Their defense is structured and disciplined. They no longer gamble because they no longer need to. Their system works because every player understands their role within it. It's not built on hope, it's built on habits. And now they find themselves with one of the most balanced profiles in the NBA. Top 5 in offense, top 5 in defense, a 7-2 record in clutch games. These metrics don't lie. They don't happen by accident. They don't happen because of an easy schedule or early season randomness. They happen when a team finds its identity early and commits to it. Yes, the test will come when they face contenders like Denver, Boston, New York, and Philadelphia. Those matchups will reveal how high the ceiling truly is. But even if the challenges ahead expose flaws, Toronto has already proven something important. This version of the Raptors is real. This team isn't a fluke. They didn't stumble into success. They built it piece by piece with intention and belief. And as the season continues, the NBA is slowly waking up to a new truth. The Toronto Raptors are no longer rebuilding. They're rising. Before I wrap this up, I want to hear your thoughts. Do you believe the Raptors are a legitimate threat in the Eastern Conference this season? How far do you think the Barnes-Ingram duo can carry this team? And which player has impressed you the most so far? Drop your thoughts in the comments, hit that like button if you enjoyed this deep dive breakdown, and make sure to subscribe so you never miss another cinematic basketball story.